Well, good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today you have the Rhino. We're looking at a beer from Half Hours on Earth. This will be called Obscured by Clouds. This is a tart farmhouse brown ale, and this is 5% ABV. So Half Hours on Earth, Seaforth, Ontario. You can order beer from them all week online, and then you can go and pick up at their store on Saturdays. They're open from 11 a.m. till 3 or 4 or 5, mattering how much bottles they have left. When I went there was a few brands that they only had like 2 or 3 bottles left of by the time I got there. Now, I love brown ales, and I love sour ales, but I don't know if I'm going to like a sour brown ale, to be honest with you. This one actually is one that worries me. Now, I have had another, I love sour ales. I love English milds. Don't get enough English milds here in Ontario. And he had a sour English mild. That did not work for me. That did not work at all. I actually very much disliked it. And I'm worried that this is going to be the same thing. But I'm willing to give anything a shot. So we will give this a shot. It does, I won't deny that Obscured by Clouds worries me. I won't deny it. Beautiful color. I mean, it is a brown ale, but it's that ruby red. More red than brown at all. A little bit of off-white head. A little bit of snap, crackle, pop. So far, I like everything. I think it's very visually appealing. Scent. Out of the glass, it basically smells like a nut brown, almost like a cashew note, and almost like cashews roast and barrel. There's almost like an oaky tannic smell to the glass. Let's give the bottle a sniff, shall we? Okay, see, now that's where I start to worry, because I'm getting that same thing. I'm getting cashews, I'm getting like an oaky tannin. Oaky tannin, cashews, a little bit of roasted malt, and this slight funky tart coming out up at the back end. So the bottle smell actually worries me, because it smells like a brown ale, but this tartness comes back. Cheers, let's try this. Okay, as soon as it hits your tongue, the tartness starts. Like if you hold it in your mouth, there's just more tart. It's almost like you went to an Asian restaurant and ordered a cashew chicken. And instead of the savory sauce that you get with a cashew chicken dish, they gave you sweet and sour sauce. But they took the sweet out. So they took the Chinese red sauce, and they took the sweet out and just gave you basically like lemon sauce mixed with the cashew chicken dish. Because there is that nuttiness, there's a little bit of roastiness, almost a little woodiness that I could assume. Like in my mind, I could see bamboo shoot flavor, even though it does come off almost like a oaky tannin. But bamboo shoot I could see being the flavor. A little bit of roast, and this forefront sour. Like it's the weirdest combination ever, because you drink it and right away you get this sour taste, and then you get the nuttiness, and you get the roastiness, but the sour's still there with the nuttiness and roastiness. And then once the sour fades away, you're left with this this woody tannic flavor and this earthy bitterness. It's the weirdest combination, and it's the same type of thing he was trying to do, I'm pretty sure, with the Edinburgh, which was his tart mild, his farmhouse mild. And that one just didn't work for me at all. And this one almost doesn't work for me, but at the same time does. I don't know how I feel about it, because it almost has a twinge of King of the Forest, almost like a touch of vinegariness. But at the same time, it mixes in such a weird way that still works, that I almost don't care. I haven't drank enough of it, though, to be 100% sure, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's so weird, because it is so tart at the forefront, and then it fades to brown ale. Now, the first two sips, was tart, brown ale, tart, brown ale. Now it's basically tart all the way to now. And now the brown ale flavors are starting to come through. And with that sip, it's the same thing. Let's hold it on the palate again, like I did the first few sips. Okay, so it seems the longer you hold it on the palate, the faster the brown ale flavors come in. This is what I'm going to say. I love the tart flavors. I love the brown ale flavors. I don't think the mixture's for me, though. I think if this was it. What was the one we did from the U.S. that my buddy Shane picked up for me? Ezekiel 15 something or other from North Carolina. It was a brewery from North Carolina. I can't even remember the name of the brewery right now. But their lighter beer was nice. Their darker beer just seemed to be sour for the sake of being sour. And I love sours, and I love Half Hour on Earth sours, but I don't love this one. I don't think it works right myself. I'm sure there's going to be people that do love it, but this reminds me of the Ezekiel beer from District 9, I think the name of the brewery was. District 9 or District 19 or something. It was D in the letter, and it stood for district, and then D in a number, and it stood for district, and then the number, and they had an Ezekiel dark sour, and this reminds me of that, where it just seems to be sour for the sake of being sour. Like, unlike the Ezekiel, this does have background flavors that are the brown ale, but it just doesn't do it for me, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, this is a brewery that I have now bought 16 beers from, and he sent me a few to review before I ended up going and buying them. And I've loved a lot of the ones I've had. I've loved Totally. I've loved one of the Yala Yalas. I've loved what was the one I did just a few days ago the Mingus Dew is fucking exquisite. There's a lot of exquisite beers that they make at Half Hours on Earth. And for me personally, this isn't one of them. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people that do love it. And that's perfectly fine, and I want to hear from you. I want to hear why you love it. I want to have discussions about beer. I want us to talk about beer rather than just freak out. Oh, you don't like the beer I like, you're an idiot. No, let's talk about what you like about it, and I will say what I disliked about it and what I did like about it, like I've done in this video. I do like the flavors, but I don't like the flavor combination. I mean, I love the flavor that's on my palate right now, the brown ale. It's still there. And then when I drink it at first, I love the sour flavor, but I don't like that momentary mingling of them. That's where I'm against the beer. Out of 10 on it, I'd probably give it a 5. I could drink it, but I don't really want to. And that's okay. I don't have to if I don't want to. Cheers, guys. Have a wonderful evening.